So mechs are officially unlocked in Helldivers 2, but there is a catch on how you actually can get them. But players have liberated Tien Kwan in a record time, which is absolutely great news, and we have another statement from a dev. Someone has accidentally created the most cinematic eagle strike I've ever seen, and lastly, and I quote, "Pew pew, more like ew ew, a modest proposal to improve lasers." We have lots to get through. If you can leave a like right now, it helps a ton, but if you get to the end of the video and didn't enjoy it, then turn that like into a dislike. So Helldivers 2 finally has the mechs in our first post-launch stratagem after players have now officially liberated Tien Kwan in a record time, but there is a catch. So before you run to your console or computer, whatever it may be, and log on expecting to stomp on bugs and shoot up bots immediately, there's something you need to know first. So while on your spaceship, check out the stratagems list and scroll down to the bottom, because there you'll see the XO45 Patriot exosuit, which comes equipped with a rocket launcher and heavy machine gun. And here's the catch, it's only available to buy at level 25. Now this game's only been out a month, so it does mean that there are going to be a lot of people that are simply not at that level yet. And prior to the exosuit's arrival, the highest level required for a stratagem was 20. So most players won't be jumping into a mech right away, but the good news is that seemingly for a limited time, all players can call in one free mech through a universal stratagem. Now, it's a nice way to get in on the mech fun no matter where you rank, and a free extra mech for high level players. Now, the official description reads, and I quote, "A heavily armored walking exosuit equipped with a rocket launcher and a heavy machine gun. It's classed as an explosive and vehicle stratagem with a 0-second call-in time, but a staggering 10-minute cooldown, and just 2 users per operation." Now think of this like a sentry that you just captain yourself. Now each mech spawns with 1000 rounds for the minigun and 14 rockets, and it's shockingly easy to just burn through that stockpile with no clear way to actually resupply the thing. Now that said, these mechs do actually put in some work, and at this moment in time it's way too early to say whether the XO45 will become a certified meta staple loadout pick, but the impressions so far are looking really good. Now a user has taken to Reddit and posted, "Pew pew, more like ew ew, a modest proposal to improve lasers with slides." Now here is what it reads, as you can see on screen. It says, "First things first, lasers are awesome." Then it says, "But the lasers in Helldivers 2 suck. Yes, but the laser has infinite ammo." You might argue, if that were true, I could just hold the trigger down and never stop shooting. What it has is a heat cycle mechanic. Actually, if it did have infinite ammo, that would improve the laser right away. Keep everything else the same and just let me go on hog with the trigger. In fact, there's no trigger at all, or an off switch, it's just always on. I'm now a danger to myself and others. This would be a vast improvement, but I have a different solution. And the next slide continues to say, "Let's discuss how to improve the laser. This is Mr. Charger. Hello." Then it says, "It's impervious to everything," but it then says, "First I'm gonna stomp you, then I'm gonna eat you, then I'm basically just gonna poop you out for the most part." Then it says, "Mr. Charger meets the new and improved laser. Bring it." I don't know why I'm impersonating this. I could just actually read the statements. I don't know why I'm acting as Mr. Charger at this moment in time, but it continues to say, "Lasers are directed energy weapons, so it stands to reason that they would generate heat at the point of contact." Then it does say, "Steel, for example, is weakened when heated up past a certain point. It would also make sense that a laser would weaken armor when that energy is directed towards an armored enemy." That's a valid point. That makes a lot of sense, right? It then says, imagine if the laser, instead of penetrating armor, reduced the armor rating of armor. So, for example, it could have a minor effect while the cannon would have a moderate effect. The reduction can be temporary, even very short, like a few seconds. Then it says, the armor reduction can also be localized, a small or moderate size patch, and then it says, this is now a generated and temporary weak point. Again, another very valid point. It then says, now this laser isn't going to kill Mr. Charger, but now a Helldiver with an autocannon can take advantage of this weak point and fire a few rounds at it. And that's where it starts to get interesting. So you now have team synergy where one diver applies an effect and another diver exploits it. The lasers apply damage to enemies that don't have armor, so the lasers can still be used as primaries or support. And it's a new tool in the Helldiver toolbox to take down armored enemies. Now it ends by just simply saying, so vote for me as your representative to Super Congress and let's kill those bugs dead. And someone just really summarized this entire post saying, I loved this, not only because it was a really funny way to represent your idea, but I also like the idea in general, and I think that's just spot on. This is actually a very, very valid point, so I'm keen to know your guys' thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments below. Now, another user took to Reddit to post this. Some friends and I accidentally created the most cinematic eagle strike I've ever seen, and there was zero lies told in that statement. This looks absolutely incredible, and a lot of people were of course giving some comparisons to Michael Bay and how he would really appreciate all of this, but all in all, it's just unexpected moments like this that just really make you appreciate just overall the cinematic aspect of this game. I think it looks absolutely incredible, so leave your thoughts on this as well in the comments. Now lastly, we do have an official apology from the dev. Now, there was a post that was made on Reddit and it goes on to say, I acted in a bad way, had a temper tantrum, realized that was a bad thing to do, both to the community and to myself. So now I'm here trying to slowly make amends. And it says, I am not expecting anyone to forgive me by just me coming back and saying sorry. Earning trust back is harder than earning it in the first time. I gotta earn my respect first, and hopefully I can bring some amounts of Arrowhead with me. It then says, I acted like an a-hole to people for the most part, no denying that, and I don't want to pretend it didn't happen neither. I would just try my best to earn respect back. Yes, I made that statement while being way too peed off, not a very chill attitude from me, and it ended off by saying I can agree, not going to pretend I didn't act like an a-hole for the most part. So here's the thing, I think it's clear that this dev was just having a bad day when all of this went down, and if you guys know exactly the situation, you've seen it all unfold pretty much for the most part in real time, but I think it's time to just cut him some slack here for the most part. Clearly having a bad day, and it just is what it is. But I think the great thing right now in this community is that we not only had another dev address this situation yesterday, but now we've actually got the person himself addressing it, which is great. So again, people make mistakes, it happens all the time, we move forward for the most part. Now, with all of that being said, things in Helldivers 2 are getting very, very interesting because there are 7 days left with a new announcement, and it is huge. Check out the video that you see on screen right now.